I see it's spinning there, and now we are officially recording. So we have begun. My name is Chris Lawrence. I am at the Interledger Foundation, and Vineal Reddy and my colleague and I put this call together for you. So you can see in the chat the link to our public note-taking doc. That's where we collect all the notes from past meetings. It's got the agenda. It's got relevant links. There's also a place for you to sign in, add community updates, so on and so forth. That's a good place. If you got a question, put it there. We will be going over that post-meeting and during the meeting. Vineal's watching that, as am I. So let's go and do some quick updates. I can start off some quick Interledger things, and I will go. I failed at my own test where I did not put the links in beforehand, but I will do that here in just a moment. I actually have a number of interesting updates from the Interledger Foundation. One, I'm sure most of you saw, our summit details are up. You can start registering for tickets. The call for speakers is also live there on the site. We'll get all the links in both the chat and in the document here, so that you don't have to feel like you got to search for it. It'll be there and collected. We'd love for you to come. We'd love for you to look at that call for speakers. There are tech talks, there are panels, there are some kind of future casting type slots we're looking for. So there's a variety of things that we're looking for. This will mean that something like, I don't know, close to 50% of the agenda is sort of community curated and community involvement. So there's a lot of ways to plug in there. Session leaders do get their room and their flight and board paid for as part of the trade-off for being helping us to produce the summit. So definitely take a look at that. As of today, the 2 new grant opportunities are open from Interledger Foundation. One, we're looking for new ambassadors. Most of you have been following along with our work, know that we've had various ambassadors over the years, but this is the first time we're doing an open and public call for them. There are some subcategories. We're looking for open source practitioners. We're looking for researchers. We're looking for community activists, and we're looking for accessibility experts to start to help look at some of our stuff that way as well. So there's subcategories. We also are rebooting our call for financial service R&D projects. A bunch of our projects that we funded a year ago are starting to move into the prototyping phase, and they're in that process. And we're looking for more organizations or companies or startups that want to start looking at the open payment space and integrating Rafiki, and that's an R&D grant. Both of those will open today. They will run through the end of the year. But we will be looking at applications in 2-month intervals and making decisions. It's a little bit different than we've operated in the past. We sort of have 2 grant opportunities that'll be open for a good 5 to 6 months, but we will be making decisions at intermediate points there as well as looking at applications for our first cohort as they move on to the prototyping phase. So lots of that. I'll get those links. You're probably going to get all of it in your inboxes. It'll be on the Slacks, but today, those grant opportunities will open, and that means we have some grants available to think about and for you all to consider or to share with your broader networks, which would be a huge peer assist. Jeremiah, I'm going to give a 25-second commercial here in just a second, but we've got our open payments huddle, which I believe is next week. Jeremiah will give you the details. And it's going to be, I think, one that many of you would want to join. It's a little bit about what Interledger is doing, moving into the Fediverse and looking at open payment issues and open payment opportunities there. So Jeremiah, do you want to just give a headline sales pitch for and the details for the open payments huddle next week?
Yeah, for sure. Let me throw the link into the chat there. You can go ahead and sign up. If you've been paying attention in the last few months, there's been something exciting happening in the social media space. Millions of people have now joined a federated social media network of some kind. The most popular being Mastodon, PixelFed. Even just last week, we saw a whole bunch of Redditors leave Reddit and join their own Reddit Fediverse instances. It's a really exciting time for the web, where the web stops becoming just publish only and a truly social experience. And so the Interledger Foundation, I'm really excited to announce, is sponsoring me to help do some work to get payment pointers and open payments integrated into the Fediverse clients. And so we have a lot of things that we'll have to do in order to make that happen, and I'll be talking about those on Monday.
All right, so the details will be in the doc and in the chat. So we would love for you to sign up. We would love to have that be a big, fun, robust discussion and share out. All right, I think that pretty much wraps it up for Interledger. Just a quick note: we had a Interledger team meeting last week. It went really well. And we are really excited to continue to serve this community and thought of lots of interesting ways and ways forward. So we will hopefully be talking about a lot of exciting stuff between now and the summit. All right. I think next we're jumping to a Rafiki update, Vanille, if I'm not, is that correct? Or are we, maybe you can jump in and tell me exactly where we're going next.
We'll start with Timia.
Yes, hi everyone. So I should start the demo then. Okay, so this is a testnet update and another testnet demo for you guys with the new stuff we are developing for you for testnet for the Rafiki playground. So I will start sharing my screen, but in the meantime, I will tell you that we want to make a big update, hopefully quite soon in the near future, that will include a new sandbox environment and a clean DB, because I know some of you had some issues with not forgetting password, and the password functionality to retrieve it is not yet functional. And also, if you want to create a new to register again, you need to do it with a different email address, because Rapid already has the previous email address. So when we do the bigger update, we will do it with a clean slate, and everyone will be able to use again their preferred email address. And we want to provide that forgotten password functionality as well. In the meantime, I will show you what we have been up to. One thing that you will not see is that we did a big restructuring of backend and front end to make easier writing tests and make it more faster. So that's a big thing that we were doing, but you will not see it physically. What the users will see is that we fixed some bugs because we already received some very good feedback from you guys, from the community. And one of them was, for example, that Rafiki Money was not working when you wrote www Rafiki Money. Now that's fixed. If you wrote only Rafiki Money, it wasn't working, so that is fixed already. And let's get into the demo part. I will do it on my local machine, so I can show you what the new features you will see when we do that big update. So as usual, we need to create an account. And I will do with an email address that hopefully was not used before. Looks like I'm good. So when we create, the things remain the same. With the KYC, which is partially filled, you need to just add in your name. And the verify identity is also pre-filled for you, so you just need to verify the account. And one of the feedback that we received is that new users of Testnet are not really sure what to do next. So what we were thinking is to do an onboarding flow. So we kind of force the new user to create a new account, to create a new payment pointer. So let me show you. It asks you to create an account, which is USD account, because a Rapid Sandbox right now can work only with USD to make transactions. We are also working on that one to do cross-currency payments, but right now the best way to do it is with US dollars. So we create an account. After we create an account, it tells us to see inside our newly created USD account. Then it forces us to create a payment pointer. If you click outside it, you will not be able to do so. Only if you go inside the button to create a payment pointer. Then it tells us to add some play money to our newly created account. And it explains to us that a new feature is available to withdraw some money. For now, we will not simulate this because the most important thing is, of course, to do some transactions, to send money, either using a payment pointer or an incoming payment. What you will see here is another change from the currently functioning version on Rafiki.money is that we only have send. Previously, we have send and pay. So right now, we squash these two together to not have two sending payments, so just have one. And we did a little bit of explanation of what this switch really means, send and receive. So when it's on send, it means that you don't care about the fees. And if it's on receive, it means that you are the one paying the fees. So where are we sending the money? We select our newly created account. We will have here a pre-filled payment pointer for Interledger, but of course this can be changed. Because I am using localhost right now, I need to change this. I need to change this to another payment pointer that I have on local. So I have here another account. So I go inside this one and just copy this payment pointer and paste it over there. But for the onboarding flow, it will be already pre-filled with an Interledger payment pointer to send some money. So let's send $400 and demo sent you 400. Okay, let's do the sending. Another new feature is that we have a quote window. I can also show you this after we do the onboarding, but basically this is the two-step payment. The user sends the payment, receives the code. If they agree to the code, then the payment goes through. If they decline, the payment will not go through. But now we send the money, and if we go to our accounts, in another explanation that we can also request money, but for now, let's see the previous transaction. Let's go inside the US account, and with the view button, we can see the transaction list. So this is the transaction list where all of the payments will appear. All of the transactions for this payment pointer will appear. And now, if you are familiar with the basics of Testnet, you can continue to play around. So this was the onboarding flow. And let me just show you again that two-step payment code, which is another new feature that will soon appear on Rafiki Money as well. So it says here that you will be deducted $1,000. Receiver gets less because this is the fee that they will cover. Do you accept the code or not? Let's decline for now and switch on to receive and send the money again. You will be deducted more because receiver gets exactly $1,000 and you will be charged this fee. Do you accept the code or not? Let's accept it. So yeah, that's another improvement. Of course, as I mentioned, send and pay are squashed. If you receive an incoming payment URL, you need to use the same send. So basically, if I go here in my other account and do a request of 300, and copy this request, the other user needs to go into the send, and if they copy into the payment pointer, they will automatically receive the 300 and I need some money pre-filled. So let's send the money. The code is available again for this one, and we accept it. Okay, so I've showed you some new features, and one thing that I was always showing you and made a little bit of joke about it, that we have also here grants, and when we go inside grants, nothing appears, only the 404 window. But right now, if I go inside grants, I need to find a new job, because now it's pre-filled with some test data, of course, because I don't have a grants list right now. What are grants? There are some kind of subscriptions. You can imagine them. They are a kind of a subscription. So this client has access to a payment pointer that they can deduct, let's say, monthly $10 from it. So this is set up. Testnet is not the one setting up the grants. Testnet will list the grants. And if you go inside view, then you will see some more details about these grants. What is the client that has access? When was the grant created, and your payment pointer that the grant has access to. The state of the grant can be, of course, granted, rejected, revoked. And we have here revoke grant, which will ask you if you are sure if you want to revoke or not. We can revoke the grant, but right now it will not update the status to revoke, because some Rafiki and Testnet communication still needs to be done on this. But the template and or the backbone is ready for it already. So what are we still working on and soon to be finished is in the settings account. We have the developer keys, the API keys. This window will look quite different, because we will have an automatic generate of API keys if the user wants to, or an upload of API keys if the user so desires to. And I think that's all of the new stuff we are working on or we have already done. And these are the new things that you will see in the new Rafiki.money update, which is coming soon, hopefully, to everyone. In the meantime, please continue testing it with new email addresses if you want, and give us feedback. If you see bugs, let us know, and we will improve. We will continue the improvements. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you, Timea. It's amazing to see this progress, and you're getting some shout outs on the styling, and just it looks like all the kind of thought that's been put into this. We do have some time. So if someone has a question, feel free to open your mic or put it in the chat and I can read it out. But, if anyone has any questions about the testnet, anything that they'd like to speak about. All right, question time going once.
Chris, just as a quick question. So the testnet is really designed for developers to then hook up their own applications to? Like what is testnet intended for?
So testnet has a lot of use cases, and that's because Interledger as a stack has multiple different levels. So first, it enables open payment on accounts. So as a developer, you can start building with open payment. But secondly, it allows Rafiki integrators or whoever's putting Rafiki into their wallet to be able to test that integration with another Rafiki instance. So it allows, right now it doesn't, but it will allow for auto-peering. So if you're a wallet and you put Rafiki into your system and you want to test it out against a real Rafiki instance, right? Instead of having to go to test with real money, you can test with a testnet, and that's fake money. So it also allows you to do that. And it's also a user experience study and how a wallet looks like that's built for Interledger from the ground up. If you think about your digital wallets, most of them will have all the features for the banking system, right? Because that's their core use case. This one puts Interledger front and center. That's why your account is payment pointed by default, and all the transactions are made not with account numbers, but with Interledger payment pointers. So I feel like in our mind, that's why we made the testnet for these two specific use cases.
Awesome, thanks, Alex. It's definitely the prettiest testnet I've ever seen.
So so we keep calling this testnet. Well, technically, this is just the test wallet, right? Because the testnet will be a test network, but we are building 3 nodes into the test network. The first one is the wallet. The second one is going to be a modular pad. And the third one is a bank that are all connected to each other, all tiered to each other, and you can exchange money between them, right? But right now, this is the wallet, and the wallet is the seed of the testnet. The bank is going to come towards the end of the year, probably after the summer. The modular pad is going to come in the next, I don't know, 6 weeks. I can't remember. I talked to the modular people recently. I feel like it's 6 weeks away from having a second node in the test network so that it actually becomes a network. Because right now it's a single node network.
I believe Fernando has a raised hand in the queue. Fernando?
Yes.
Fernando,
So,
Go ahead, Fernando.
yeah. I have a question. During the last call's demo, they showcased how they did a payment from one wallet to the other, and I do remember the time to complete the payment was kind of long. So do we have an estimate of how fast these payments will be done? That's one question, and then the other question would be, where is the infrastructure planned to be deployed? Is it a specific server provider, a geographic location, etc.? The reason why we ask is because for our specific use case, we need very short latency for the services. So definitely transaction speed and speeds per second is a major concern for us.
So in the that was because of the provider we were using. We solved that. I feel like now when you make a payment, that the status of it changes faster than you can go check the status in the other tab. So for now, transactions happen at the second speed, probably under the second. That of course depends heavily on where your accounting ledger is. So if your accounting ledger can't handle that, it's going to be in Rafiki, and Rafiki will have that, or does that 200 millisecond speed of transaction probably. And the second one was, we've designed the testnet to be able to run in any cloud environment. Right now, ours is running in GCP, and the only reason we're running on the Google Cloud platform and not any other cloud platform is because as a 501c3 foundation, Google were generous enough to give us a lot of credits on that platform. So we're running inside of GCP, but it comes with Kubernetes Helm chart, so you can deploy Rafiki or this in any cloud environment you'd like to. I feel like we're running, so right now testnet is running on the smallest instance that GCP offers. I feel like so far we've spent on cloud costs since we launched maybe $120. And of course, we don't have a lot of transactions. It's probably 1,000 transactions per day at most. But that's kind of the requirements, the infrastructure requirements that's cost us so far for comparison. We have a security company that's doing a bit of performance benchmarking on betting in the next couple of weeks. We will try to figure out a cost basis for heavy load just for that. Oh, and if you have more questions for the testnet team about the testnet, on the Slack Interledger channel, the community Slack, there's also a testnet Interledger Slack channel. Feel free to go into the testnet channel and ask the people who are building the testnet anything you want to know.
All right, Malcolm has patiently had his hand up. So Malcolm, why don't you ask your question here, and then we will move on.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. One, I wanted to know if I could use testnet to spin up or configure my own wallet, because I'm not a fan of redoing the wheel. I'd rather reuse the wheel. Then does it currently also support creation of ILP enabled wallet addresses? Yeah.
So the answer to the first question, can you spin up testnet with real money and your own account? Yes. The catch is the wallet, Rafiki.money, uses the Rapid Payment API. So in order to go live, because it uses the Rapid Payment API, you have to go to Rapid as well and get an account in order to plug it in so it works. And that's ready to, it's literally the click of a button to go from what we have to real money. In terms of Interledger addresses, yes, it creates Interledger addresses. All the payment pointers that you have are Interledger addresses. The only difference is the ones we create on testnet, it's fake money, and because it's not going to appear with real money, you won't be able to pay from one to the other as long as the manual transaction.
All right, a follow-up question. If I do go live, okay, I've spin it up, I've configured, created my own wallet. I have the payment pointers. Can I send money to someone else, or someone who is probably integrated with another Rafiki platform? Can I send money all over?
So you have to peer your Rafiki instance into the network, right? You have to sign an agreement with somebody else who's on the Interledger network in order to make that work. But making that connection in Rafiki is a config option, a two-click problem. The real problem here is getting a commercial agreement with another institution running this. So another institution running this is GitHub, for example. That will probably be the first Rafiki instance to be turned on with real money. So you have to go to GitHub and get an agreement with them. But they're very friendly. They're looking forward to have as many connections as possible. So I'd say that's an easy problem to solve.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Malcolm. And again, I would say just a strong underline too, if you want to feedback, ask questions, engage with the testnet, go to that Slack channel. Vanille or I will get it into the chat and into the doc, the link directly to that channel. Or, Slack in general for a bunch of questions or a bunch of channels, and then just general and help and things like that. So I would definitely say that is where we can get fast answers on a bunch of stuff. All right, Alex, I'm actually going to hand it to you for another Interledger update, and then to tag off to our next guest.
Thank you, Chris. So you've probably seen a lot of new faces in the call. You've probably seen the website being updated with a lot of new joiners. We've onboarded quite a few people since we last spoke in the tech team specifically. So we've got on the call, we've got Melissa, who's joined us as a new tech writer. Melissa, do you want to say a few words about yourself? You want to say hi?
Sure. Yeah, sure. So my name's Melissa. I'm located in Florida, and I came to the ILF from Coil, so I already have a bit of a background in Interledger and web monetization.
Thank you, Melissa. We've also have Huijing joining us as the developer experience engineer. Sadly, Huijing is based in Singapore, so this time does not really work well for Huijing. She sends all the best. Right now, she's the reason you might have seen in the document in the Interledger update. We have released and published a new Web Monetization specification and the new Web Monetization website. She's the sole reason why that got merged and done in time. And she's going to be focusing on Rafiki.dev next. Rafiki.dev has made a public appearance into the world. The next thing Huijing works is on Rafiki.dev to make it so that everybody else can use Rafiki.dev as the basis for their Rafiki instance documentation. We've also increased the size of the testnet team. Somebody joined us, I think on Monday. Yes, this Monday. Andre joined us on Monday in Timea's team. I don't know if Andre is on the call today. You want to say a few words?
He's
okay.
not.
So he's joined us as a full stack developer in the testnet team, helping us increase the capacity of the team, and also helping us have resources available of people who work with Rafiki that could help any grantee that needs help integrating Rafiki into that stack. And I feel like those are all the new, well, actually, no. So that's not really true. We've deployed a bunch of new capabilities here at the foundation to help all the efforts that we're doing. And one of the new capabilities that we're deploying is our work with Igalia to make web monetization an experiment in Chromium. We actually have somebody from Igalia on the call. I feel like I saw both Brenna and Alexander, and I have a little 5-minute presentation. I feel like this is a good segment to get them started. Brenna, Alexander, take it away.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brina. I am the project manager, and Alex Surkoff is on the call with me as well. He is the developer on this project. So as Alex mentioned, we teamed up with the Interledger Foundation here to, we collaborated so that we can implement web monetization in Chromium. So currently we're in negotiation stage and we haven't really started the actual implementation yet. but we're hopeful that all the stakeholders are soon going to reach an agreement, which will allow us to progress towards a more practical phase of it. So at the moment, we have designed a design document. It provides like a high-level overview of the project. We're actively discussing it with Google, and we're considering several different options that we can use for different implementation paths of it. That's kind of a high-level summary of what we're working towards and where we start right now. Alex, would you like to take a moment just to introduce yourself?
Well, yeah, hi, sure. I'm Alex Urko from Igalia. So, and basically, what Brina said. So, we are hopeful, but it's still like a negotiation because like Google some has like concerns about the certain implementation paths, and but I'm pretty sure we can find one which like everybody makes happy with. Yep.
So that design document, I feel like we're done designing, and we can share the design document with the rest of the community. I'll send it to Chris and Janelle so we can add them to the notes. As my bad, I should have added it to the notes before this. But we're welcome to hear any feedback you have on the design document. Right now, as our main concern, our main conversation with Google right now is out of that design document, which of the implementation paths we're going forward. So I feel like we'd love to hear some feedback on the design document.
All right. Well, that's exciting. So if you've been following along with Web Monetization over the last couple of years, that's some good positive momentum, a lot actually. So I'll open it up. Does anyone, I didn't see any hand raised or anything, but does anyone have any questions or follow-ups for Alex or Igalia or about those Web Monetization plans? All right. Questions going once. Questions going twice. All right. Well, thank you very much. Unfortunately, unless I am wrong, our community deep dive on a team of students at Bowie State University who have built actually their own testnet and been doing some Interledger experiments. We're going to come on and share some of their findings and some of their builds and demo what they've done. But for whatever reason, I don't believe we have any representatives on the call. Vanille and I have been scouring in the back end, but I figured I'd open the mic here, make sure that I'm not missing it. You can interrupt me here over the next 10 seconds as I freestyle and waste time and say thank you and all of that stuff. And I'm going to now call it. Okay, so we might be ending a tad bit early, but we've been trying to have people just open up the mic and share anything that's exciting in their world or Interledger relevant. So maybe we'll take a moment here. If you've got something, don't be shy. Open up your mic. Tell us, a recent win or a peer assist you might need or something that you'd like to call out in this open mic time. Vanille, we're going to need some
Chris, I can give an update from the Fynbos team. So yeah, so probably the biggest news since our last month's update is we've been in the US. We've finally been approved by our different programs, our card acquiring program and our bank program. So we're on the final stages now. There's just one more bank account that's stuck at the moment to get open for card acquiring. We're trying to get clarity on that. They're still being sticky. So basically, at the moment, we can only do $1 transactions on cards. So it's a bit dumb. So we don't want to try and open up 2 beta testers until we can get that resolved. But yeah, so from our side, we hopefully will have more clarity and start opening up 2 beta testers in the next week or 2. If you're on our waitlist already, we will be in contact. If not, you can go to fynbos.app and sign up for the waitlist. Again, reminder, this is mostly for US users initially, but we will pretty aggressively ramp up into other geographies pretty soon after that.
Ooh, buried lead. That is exciting news, Matthew. Thank you for opening your mic. Can I ask you to make sure that probably you or Adrian or both reach out to Vanille and I when you're ready? We'd love to, dedicate a majority of this call to some demo, maybe like a little bit of a launch party in this space. So when you guys feel ready, let us know and we'll plan a party.
That sounds cool. Yeah, 100%. Everybody loves a party.
We can sign up, money and the whole nine.
That sounds awesome. I'll let Adrian know.
All right, so look forward to a future Fynbos demo launch party on our regular community call in the months to come. Hopefully very few months to come. Thank you, Matthew. Anybody else? Good modeling, good practices too. Anybody else want to open up the mic and share a Interledger relevant update, excitement, shout out, peer assist? All right, the music is playing in my head. And interrupt me in the next 3, 2, 1. All right. Let me hit on a few things as we have started to fill out the links in the document. And I will also paste them here. I would highly recommend that you sign up for Jeremiah's Fediverse thing, the Open Payments Huddle. Sorry, it's not a thing. And I'll give you the copy link. There you go. I'll give you the link to the event right there. I think that's going to be fascinating and a real area of exploration and community engagement. So there is that. Also, the applications are live for our grants. I'll put those links in, but you can also go to community.interledger.org and all the details will be there. And also in the document is all the details you need on the ILF Summit, Costa Rica, November, I think, 5th through 8th. You can sign up for tickets. You can read about what we've got planned so far. And more importantly, you will find the call for speakers. I would urge you all to apply, see if there's anything you'd like to talk about, like to share, like to facilitate a conversation around. And that is very much a community constructed program. And we'd be excited for all of your ideas. And with that, I think we can end a little bit on the early side, although this has still been chock full of information. Slack. If you have questions, comments, you want to share something interesting, feel free to engage with us and each other there. And we'll be highlighting more ways to engage over the coming months. So thank you all very much. And thank you all for the patience in having to delay our normal time of last week and being willing to come and still show up in the same numbers. So that was good. We will try not to muck with that too much. But we had to last week, and so we appreciate your flexibility. All right, I think people can feel safe to start logging off and going about their day, evening, night, mornings.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, everyone.